Since the 1950s and the 1960s, when there was a major exercise revolution, we have tried to focus our energy on eating healthier and exercising more. This was spurred by a rise in heart disease and the quest to find a cause for this problem. In the 1950s, Benjamin Keyes, a scientist at the University of Minnesota, conducted an extensive study that showed that saturated fat caused heart disease. As a result, people started cutting out fats. All of a sudden, there was a low-fat fad. Food companies started making foods low in fat. Low fat was a buzzword that meant the food was good for one's heart. This was the start of the obesity rise and increased lifestyle diseases like diabetes, heart disease, and blood pressure. But if fat was lower, why did we get sicker? Fat was lower and sugar was left on the table. And in the 1970s, something catastrophic happened: the invention and government-backed propagation of high fructose corn syrup. All of a sudden, instead of sodas being a rare treat, one could buy a liter for 99 cents, and food companies replaced fat with high fructose corn syrup. The perfect storm hit, and Americans started to gain weight and get sicker. They cut down on fat and gained weight. The reason was simple, but it wasn't understood until decades later. In fact, not until 2002 did Keyes' theory get blown up. With this, Americans wasted a whole lifetime chasing the false belief that animal fat and meat caused sickness. Fats are not bad for you and have not been the cause in obesity rise. Most people do not overeat fat, and the amount of fat consumed has been stable, while sugar and carb intake has risen. Also, because sugar gets metabolized in the liver, like alcohol and poison, sugar converts faster to body fat, and the fat accumulates on organs and causes high blood pressure and clogged arteries. The bottom line is that fats are not the leading cause for heart disease. Sugar is. Harvard researchers looked at 72 published studies on fats and heart disease. The studies involved more than 600,000 people from 18 countries. Saturated fats, long thought to raise heart disease risks, had no effect. Neither did monounsaturated fats, which are thought to help the heart, says study researcher Dariush Mazarofrian at the Harvard School of Public Health. Which fats did have an effect? Trans fats, known to raise bad cholesterol and lower good cholesterol, were linked with a higher risk of heart disease, as expected. Omega-3s from food helped. Omega-6s appear to help too. Worse yet, sugar is an addiction. It is more addictive than cocaine. This is probably not new information to you, but what might be is that sugar is in almost all food, and not a small amount either. If we start paying attention to nutrition labels and the grams of sugar, we start to notice that even simple things as whole wheat bread have at least a teaspoon of sugar. In conclusion, added sugars are the root cause of most lifestyle diseases. Sodas are the leading culprit, but so are juices and sugar added to food that are considered main dishes and not desserts. Food companies know that sugar makes one crave more food, and as an example, one cannot find a menu item at McDonald's without sugar. Poor people are worse off because they tend to buy cheaper processed food that cause the addictive response and make them overeat. The FDA should label added sugars, and warnings should be the same as cigarettes on sodas. Food lobby groups are fighting this because they could lose a lot of revenue. But our health is at stake, and we should fight for this. Thank you for watching.